Hey, today we're going to talk about how to inspect a barracks room. I'm going to show you a couple of real quick tips to help you to get your soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines into the barracks room they deserve, and hopefully one that'll last them for a couple of years. So come on in. Now, the first thing I do when I'm inspecting a room is I just come in the door, and whatever you do in one room, you need to do it the exact same way every time so that you establish a system. That way you don't forget anything. So I come in, I come left, and I stay left. Now this here has a stove. I'm just going to turn these burners on and check for them to heat up. I can feel them heating up. Always make sure that you look at the stove to ensure that it's off, because it's very easy to leave one of those on. Now next, I'm not going to test the microwave up here today, but what I'm going to do is come to the sink. I'm going to turn the sink on, and I'm going to make sure that a couple of things are functioning correctly. I want to make sure that there's no water coming from around this faucet plate. Then I'm going to look underneath the sink and make sure there are no leaks, and in this case, this sink is leaking quite a bit, so I'm going to make a note of that. Now I'm going to check the freezer and the fridge and just make sure they're cooling and freezing. I'm not going to take an exact temperature reading, but you'll know if it's not working for sure. Now this particular suite has two individual rooms, so I'm going to turn everything on, make sure all the lights come on, the fan comes on. Sometimes you'll see some damage in some rooms. Maybe the paint will be damaged, there'll be holes in the wall. Here on this far wall, you can see vertical lines. If you live in a cold climate, that's called thermal bridging. The studs in the walls get so cold that any dust and smoke inside the room will stick to the areas where there are studs in the wall. So when you see that, it needs to be cleaned off or potentially repainted at some point. So here you see another spot where they've used a drywall kit to patch the wall that just needs textured and painted up. Now finally, that brings us to the bathroom. Now along the way, there are also outlets in each of the rooms that I'll test just to make sure they have the appropriate voltage. So here we're just going to turn this sink on and make sure it's not leaking underneath. Doesn't appear to be any leaks. We're going to shut that off. We have an outlet right here next to the sink. This is called a GFCI outlet, and the appropriate way to test these is just by pushing the push to test button. You should see that pop out. You should hear that noise. You should see a red light come on. And then when you press it, red light goes off, it's reset. Finally, the shower and toilet area. On the toilet, you want to come in here and put your hands on the top of the toilet tank and just gently rock it from side to side and see if there's any movement in it. If there is, either your tank's loose from the toilet or your toilet's loose from the floor. Either one of those could cause some bad problems. I'm also going to flush this, and at the same time, look at the back of the toilet to check for leaks. Finally, after seeing no leaks, I'm going to come to the tub enclosure. Here I notice that the caulk at the base of the tub is missing in spots. That needs to be replaced. I see that we have some soft drywall spots above the shower enclosure that needs to be repaired. And I see that this is leaking before I even turn it on. So the shower valve needs to be replaced. We have a leak, and it's probably getting inside that wall. All of that is a problem. I'll annotate that, and I'll make sure that we get those fixed. All right, so that's how you inspect a barracks room. I hope you've learned something from this. And listen, the worst thing in the world to do is to keep a secret about something broken in a room. So find everything that's broken and tell the people that need to know. Thanks a lot.